have to accept that.
Got it.
And I'm going to see if we can record the audio on separate vad sjá. Video and effects.
Da, 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 da.
No,
It's a good song.
yeah, Let me check if we can record our audio on a separate track.
Track.
Because if I fuck it up, then we will know if you're saying something very important. Okay, dude, just let me exit the meeting, and we'll do another one. I'm gonna see if it's like doing. Is that okay for you? It just takes 5 minutes just to
Sure.
see. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll call you in just a bit. Okay.
I get my
Yeah.
lighting. Hold
Maybe
on a
you
second.
maybe you have to
There we go. That's not
accept
bad.
accept the
Oh, yeah, recording.
yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I obviously dearly appreciate it and taking your time. Uh,
You bet.
I want to ask you first. You're on Washan Island. It's 10 a.m. in the morning, right?
It's 10:09 a.m. on Vashon Island. I sound like a radio announcer. It's 10:09 a.m. on Vashon Island, coming to you live.
What's the weather
Um,
like?
it is raining. We're in what's called an atmospheric river. So it's day
Ah,
after day of rain, clouds accumulating in the ocean and just sort of dumping on the Pacific Northwest. It's actually kind of serious. There's major flooding and roads are out and stuff, but we are on a bluff overlooking the water. So, whoop.
what's a bluff?
I
What do
think
you mean?
we just lost power.
I can still see you and hear you at
No,
least.
yeah, we have a backup system. Um,
What do you mean a
but yeah,
bluff? Do you mean like are you on a hill?
hold on a second here. I have to
Yeah, no
close
problem.
that. I'm going to close my studio computer so that if there's an outage, there can be surges in power, and so I'm going to close that,
Right?
turn it off so it doesn't get damaged. Yeah, so we're on a bluff. Whoops, a bluff meaning, hold on, sorry. My CD player spit out a CD when the power went out. I just put it back in. Um,
Which city did you spit
yeah,
out?
it was a reference CD for my last solo record.
Okay,
I have a CD player like, from the old days, just to
nice.
listen and test sound. Um,
Awesome.
So
Let's
yeah,
go.
a
Yeah.
bluff meaning just like a plateau. We're up on a plateau, like way above the water, so
Okay.
we're not in danger of flooding at our house, but there is flooding all
Is
over the place.
is that is that do you have like a rain season in Seattle?
Yeah, it's called all year long.
It really rains that much. It's not just a
No,
saying.
it is kind of a myth, actually. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, right now, fall, like fall and spring, they're very rainy. I like it though. A lot of people find it depressing, but I love it because historically, when I was growing up and being a young kid making music, and there were so many cloudy days, rainy days where you didn't want to be outside, I just poured all that, all my creativity into making music inside. So when it gets bad outside, like bad outside, I just retreat to the studio
nice.
and make things.
Yeah, I mean, people have said that about Iceland. We have a lot of great artists because the weather fucking sucks. So,
Yeah. I just went to Iceland last year, actually.
how was it?
Really good and really bad.
Okay, do you want to tell me about it?
It was really good in that, we did trips to the glacier. We did a walking food tour in Reykjavik that was fantastic. We went to the waterfalls, all that kind of stuff. And that was beautiful. And the food was delicioso. Man, the hotel we stayed at was right next to a little soup only restaurant
What's the
where they
name of
had
the
lamb.
hotel?
Oh boy, I don't remember.
Okay, but tell me about the restaurant then. Sorry. Yeah, keep
Oh, that's
going.
okay. It's just right next door to this place that just served soup. It was like lamb stew and
Ah, the
uh
Black Cafe. You have to go up to
yeah.
upstairs to the first floor, and then there's lots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's an upstairs. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Up one stairs, and there they are. Yeah. And did you get the
So,
soup in the bread?
yeah. Well, no, I don't do bread because I'm gluten free. I don't have a choice, but no,
Cool.
we did bowls. Yeah. Bread was
Okay.
a little too much bread. But anyway, about most of the way through our trip, like 5 days, 7 days into the trip, I got COVID, really bad COVID. Like it was trying to kill me, COVID.
Uh,
And so we had to extend the trip. And although that wasn't the worst thing in the world because we were in that nice hotel, and I would get out just long enough to get soup from that restaurant, and it was saving my life.
what
It was
what
amazing.
what year and month did you go?
It was a year ago in October.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you haven't like what do you compare it to? Like what kind of what like
nothing.
do you mind if I smoke a little bit of pipe on the interview? Is that okay?
That's totally fine. Smoke a bit of pipe.
I interviewed David Yao from the Jesus Lizard. We had like
Yeah.
really two really good conversation, and in the second interview, I was smoking a cigarette, and a woman commented on YouTube like good interview, but very not discomforting to see you smoke on screen. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do. Doesn't bother me. I can't smell it, so.
Cool. So what? Yeah. Do you have like a American city that you can compare Iceland to?
Boy, I mean, I guess on the level of sort of ancient forces and desolation, the American Southwest might rival it, with all the rock formations and geological
Is
like
that like the
drama.
Grand Canyon or like what are we talking about?
Yeah, I guess so. Grand Canyon, the mesas, the plateaus in New Mexico, the desert of New Mexico might
Okay.
compare, but in a very different way. I mean,
Right.
different expression of geological activity, but
Right.
as geologically awesome.
What about like the vibe, the culture? Did you feel any kind of resemblance with America?
Well, let's see. Not really. I mean, the Icelanders are so nice and sweet and happy to meet you. And um, they are very proud too of everything that Iceland's accomplished, and having a female leader. And the hotel we stayed in was right across the street from I don't know what the building was called, but it's the building where you call it prime minister? I can't remember.
Oh, were you right across? You were really close to the opera house.
Yeah, where she lives, where the story is that you can walk up and knock on the door and she has to answer and you can communicate with.
I could chat GPT that right now, but like yeah, okay.
Anyway, we're so I just love that, the way that Icelanders use geothermal heat
That's cool.
to heat the streets in Reykjavik. And when I was sick in Reykjavik, the one place I felt good was in a hot shower. And of course, everybody's like, take as many hot showers as you want.
Right.
It's just bubbling up out of the earth. So
Okay.
that was super cool. So I
Nice.
loved how nice and proud of sort of cultural achievements that
More
Icelandic
so,
people are.
more so than you guys. Do you guys because you did like a
I don't know.
fuckload.
I mean, we're not. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I just like how smart and logical and kind of um, on the right side of issues Icelandic people are.
That's
Just
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's get into your career. Do we have like a time limit, some time that you really have to be free? Do you want to give me like a
Oh,
ballpark number, just so I know?
I'd say like by 11, make maybe in about 40 minutes, something
Oh,
like that. Does that work?
let's get started then. Booty boo.
I mean,
Okay,
how much
okay.
time would you like?
Let's just start with the interview and see how we can always do another one then later if you want to. If you just finished half the script now, we can do another 30-minute one in like because this doesn't air until June next year, so we have a fuckload of
Okay.
time. Okay.
Okay, well, let's see how it
Okay.
goes.
Okay. Next.
Hold on, I gotta turn my phone is over here buzzing. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
I've
I
got
turned
all the things down, but anyway. Okay.
I turned my off, Okay. So
All right, here we go.
the last time you don't remember that. That was like a fucking year, more than a year ago. We went deep into your childhood and the early president years, okay?
Okay.
So today I'd love to map out the rest of the history from pure frosting and the giraffes through Caspar, the Sampladelg stuff, and just up to the new solo albums. Okay. You've been putting out what? Since July of 2021, you've been putting out two a year, each January, and then I guess each July, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mid-January and mid-July, the songs just keep flowing, so I keep loading up albums and putting them out. When when the well runs dry or the inspiration's over, I'll see about moving on to the next thing. But for now, it's definitely just continuing like an Icelandic volcano. It's continuing to spout songs.
Nice. So this is like you dumped Caspar in 2020, and then you released the last Caspar album in 2020. Is this the next thing? Like that you evolved into this next thing, right? Was the next step.
Yeah, it just during the pandemic, when all my shows were canceled, I wasn't particularly sad that they were canceled. I was kind of relieved, and that sort of informed what I did next, which is I kind of put my studio away in boxes and decided to do music every day, but not to be goal oriented, not to be working towards something, just to exist in the present, playing music for fun, for my
Okay.
soul.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Of
out
course.
of that kind of stillness and like it turned out I'd just repeat the same thing on guitar and just get really relaxed. That sort of led me to this new palette and purpose in making music that I'm calling pop cosmic music.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 records into that arc. So yeah,
Yeah.
I almost feel like I'm on the downside of that arc actually, but the
Oh,
songs just keep
nice. Okay.
flowing. But
That
yeah,
that
it's really fun.
that's me saying nice because I can't wait to see the next Chris Ballew iteration. That's just that. But
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when you do these things, I mean, you had your palette, which is like first out guitars, minimal, no virtuoso. You use a lot of EQs. Tell me about do you want to tell me a little bit about what this palette is made up of and what it does for you, the restrictions?
Oh, the one I'm working currently with, you're saying, yeah?
I'm talking about the whole of your new studio arc and if it changed
Oh,
between
okay.
albums, like your upcoming album or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's kind of consistent. And when I do these big arcs like the Casper Baby Pants arc and this solo arc, I like to kind of figure out at the beginning what my palette is of sounds. And for this one, it's rediscovering distortion pedals for one thing. I Toward the end of the Casper Baby Pants arc, I bought a specific distortion pedal for one little part of a song called um what was it called?
Party
Scary
mo
Motorcycle.
Party motorcycle. Party
Yeah,
motorcycle.
something like
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah, yeah.
something motorcycle.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I had a neighbor that actually had this very souped up hot rod motorcycle, and he would warm it up before he left, and it would just like fill the entire neighborhood with this like sound. Anyway, so I wrote this song, and I was like, I need a little bit of distortion, so I bought a distortion pedal, and I hadn't put distortion on a recording in 15 years.
Wow,
And I sort of
15
just discovered,
years.
yeah,
Really?
because I was making this music for little kids. There was no place
Right,
for a distorted
right.
guitar.
Wow. Okay, I get it.
It
Sure.
wasn't in my palette.
Right.
I mean, after the Presidents and a few other projects, it really wasn't in my palette anymore. So, yeah, and that sort of was a big deal, like rediscovering that and kind of rediscovering music I loved back in the 80s, like Spacemen 3, Loop, these bands that are like psychedelic and heavy and kind
Wow,
of
Spaceman
repetitious.
3 and Loop. I can't. I have to willfully pledge my arrogant. No, what? I
Yeah.
don't arrogance. No, what's the name?
Ignorance,
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 ignorance. I don't. I have to check these.
arrogance.
Thanks for pointing them out. I'll go check them out. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, they were huge influences. And then later, the two guys that were in Spaceman 3 had solo careers, and I was into both of their solo careers. Anyway, it's all like very, and I have a good friend I grew up with, Dave Thiele, and he and I have always worked in this palette of like fuzzy distortion, repetition, and it kind of plugged me back into that world. And yeah, so and the other part of it was like synthesizers. I hadn't used synthesizers since I was a kid in the 80s. I fancied myself kind of a new romantic style, a singer or songwriter, whatever, and they're very embarrassing recordings. Nobody will ever hear them. It's me like with a fake English accent trying to be, you know, meaningful.
When was
And
that?
oh, that'd be like the mid '80s, back
What
in
what
the early mid '80s.
what was the name of the project?
Nothing. It was just me with two boom boxes, two cassette players bouncing sound back and forth in my bedroom in suburban Seattle. So I
And
had no,
making songs you thought that should be about girls and you didn't know what to sing about. You mean that?
I don't know. They were very abstract lyrically. They were just weird. And I was really into Wall of Voodoo and a Wingo Boingo at the time, and these kind of like new wave,
Did you record those stuff? Did you record that stuff?
weird new wave bands. Um, Oh yeah, it's all recorded. I have it all. But it's unlistenable except for me. And one of the things I did during this new period was to go back and listen to some of those old ideas and recordings and kind of
Ah,
like extract a little bit of DNA from them because I was rediscovering distortion and synthesizers, and those were two things I used back in the 80s. And so I found a few songs where, yeah, the execution is terrible, the lyrics are really, really like sappy, the sounds are bad, but there's an intention in there, like a theme that I'm touching on, or a riff, or a bass line, or a drum beat, and I would carve a little bit out and pluck it into a new session and just develop it. So part of what I'm doing with this arc I'm on now is collaborating with my teenage self and finishing these songs that are otherwise just a wreck.
that's fucking awesome. I mean, on Power Trip from the last year, you had the song called it was from 1987. What was the name of the song? Yeah. It was called
I don't remember.
Memory Ball.
Oh,
Memory
Memory
Ball.
Ball. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah,
From
that's a
from
super old song. That's
from
that's from yeah, 80s. That's like late college time, 87, yeah, 86, 87.
That's a good song.
Yeah, and it had never seen the light of day, and it was really poorly recorded. I had about six or seven versions of it that were all in different stages of disrepair. So I just kind of pulled it together and,
Nice.
updated things. And
Are are,
so it's, yeah, yeah.
are you ever
Do you know that? Do you know that because of the vinyl booklet thing, or how do you know about the era that Memory Ball is from?
I pulled it from a website or
Oh,
somewhere
okay.
or
Yeah.
or just ask ChatGPT or I forget. I forget.
Well, I did a vinyl compilation from the first four solo records, the best, like the hits and stuff on vinyl,
The
and
hit,
it
right.
and it had a booklet with it that had the stories behind the songs. So that might be where that
Ah,
came from.
right. I haven't I
Although I
haven't
didn't,
I haven't I
yeah,
haven't got I haven't got that. I didn't buy that one.
yeah, it was a short run. It was just a small
It was
an idea.
was that the bandbox thing?
Yes, but that project got into the Bandbox system and got sent out to the people that ordered it before Bandbox
Ah,
fell apart.
nice. Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But
So
like these new albums, they're really hitting me. I've been doing like a
thank you.
Steve Ballew deep dive into just like stuff, listening to
Cool.
listening to a few songs and like few of my favorite songs, just like again and again and again. And
Nice.
there's a song of Powerball called "Save Me."
Yeah.
That's a song that's now one of my favorite Baloo songs of all time. With all of them,
Oh,
it really hit me last year, and I can't. It's an earworm that I can't because the new stuff I like it personally as a fan, but this song saved me. It just I listen to it many times a day. I'm not kidding. It's
wow.
absolutely yeah.
I
You
appreciate that. Thank you. That's kind of maybe one of my most sort of confessional, vulnerable lyrics. So,
awesome lyrics also.
thank you. It's
Keep
nice
going.
to hear that. It's nice to hear because I don't get a lot of feedback for this solo stuff. I just sort of put it out. I don't expect a lot. I'm really kind of a hobbyist at this point. I'm just putting stuff out to keep my hands busy. Um, but it is really nice to on occasion hear that it connects with somebody, and I appreciate that you let me know that. So thank you.
Yeah. I
Makes
mean,
me feel like I'm not just dumping songs into the Grand Canyon.
yeah, that's cool. No, definitely, definitely. And if you say that people don't give you feedback. Like if people are out there who love Chris, he's got what, babypants2000 at gmail.com.
Right, yeah. That's not a secret. That is my email.
Send the fucker if you like it. Let the fucker know. Yeah, okay. Anyways, okay. You don't use MIDI on the records. It's mostly editing, EQ. You use Pro Tools almost like a tape machine. Do you want to talk about that like setup for a little? Is this the first time you use that setup? Just like this?
No, I've been using the Pro Tools thing. Let's see. I think 2001 is, or 2000 maybe, is when I switched over from cassette. I was doing first four track, well, first two tape players back and forth, which is really messy. Then I got a four track, thanks to my mom who bought me a four track.
Oh, go
And
mom.
then because of Mark Sandman from the band Morphine, he and I were partners for a while. He got me onto eight track cassette because that was what he recorded with. And then I started working with Sir Mix-a-Lot, the rapper, and I was giving him cassettes, and he's like, "What is this? I can't." This is 2000, 99, 2000
Yeah,
already
99
cassettes
2000. Right.
on their way out. Anyway, so he's like, "You got to get into working in digital," and I was like, "Oh man, it's too distracting visually. I don't know if I can do it." And but he kind of insisted, and that's how I got it. So that was like, yeah, 2001 when I got my first Pro Tools set up.
That's
So.
early.
Yeah, I've been just bussing along like that. But yes, I do treat Pro Tools kind of like a glorified tape
Wait,
deck.
before you say that, have you been
Yeah.
using Pro Tools every year, like on a monthly basis, or how often have you used it since you got it, like back in the 2000s? Can you tell me like your kind of working method with it throughout the years, if you don't mind?
Oh yeah, I have only owned two different versions of it since 2001. The one I got in 2001, I think I used until gosh, like 2010. And then I got Pro Tools 9 and I've used that ever since. I haven't gone to 10 because if you go to 10, you don't own the software, you license it, you got to pay a fee. And all the plugins for all the music you've done before, all the EQs and compressors and everything will be flatlined. They won't translate. And number nine works great for me. Number nine, number nine.
Number
Uh,
nine, number nine.
number nine. Number nine, it works great. This computer that it's running on doesn't talk to the internet. It doesn't, I don't do, stuff that's complicated on it. I just run Pro Tools and knock on wood, it will continue to work forever.
Dude, that's true, man. If you don't update it, then you can at least, while they still, and they're gonna be repairing the shit in 100 years, so you're golden. That's cool, man.
Yeah, and I actually hired a kid about 5 years ago to go out and buy me a duplicate setup. So he bought me this, he found the same laptop, the same M-box, set up all the software. So I have in my house in a closet, I have a clone of this entire setup. So if
Awesome.
I'm in the
Oh.
middle of doing something, making something, and it crashes or is irreparable, I go inside, I bring the clone in, and send in the clones, is what they say.
Oh, sent in the clones. I mean, you said when you saw MTV back in the days before you got big and you saw all of these really sad, broody guys, making music and it was really popular in like 92, 93, 94. And you told me, direct quote, motherfucker, we gotta go send in the clowns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I remember that watching the MTV Video Music Awards in 1992, or maybe it was three. No, I think it was 92, and just going, congratulations, everybody. But God, there's something missing here. There's a section of bandwidth for that could be dedicated to happiness that we might want to open up.
Yeah.
So,
Can you hear me with this microphone setup? Is this okay?
yeah,
You hear
and
me?
me,
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
yeah,
You're good. You're good.
yeah.
I was wondering because I don't know, would you say this is the I don't know, grown-up version of Chris Ballew we're seeing here with this new material, if you know what I mean? Is that a cheesy question?
Yeah, no, it is kind of that way because it's kind of bringing in old ways of working for me and old perspectives and voices that I used to use back in the day, like sounds and lyrical content
Ah, okay.
and then
When were you doing this kind of lyrical content? Do you remember like what era?
Oh, the whole era from like double boom boxes all the way to 8-track cassette. So that would have been like, 1981 or 82 until like 1990, something like that.
Okay, so
Uh,
The Casper stuff and the Dukes of Pop and
yeah.
No, Egg was just a three bass instrumental thing. Egg, right?
No, Egg was full on band. Yeah, we had songs, different.
With lyrics.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm so
There's
I'm sorry.
you
This
can
is
find footage of Egg playing at the Middle East on YouTube. You can
okay.
find entire sets.
This is the only Chris Ballew band that I haven't listened to.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm saving it.
Egg was kind of like right before I realized that lyrics could be silly. And so Egg, the lyrics are still like conceptual,
Okay,
kind
okay,
of abstract conceptual. But
okay.
what's fun about now writing the way I write lyrics now is it's way more intuitive. It's kind of like I've got a radar dish open and on, and I'm just waiting for fragments to come trickle down from the universe or something. It's like I'm getting these little messages or little bits that float into my mind. The way songs come together now, it's like a lot of patience and a lot of waiting, and kind of like, oh, okay, I have this little riff, and that's evocative. And then 2 weeks later, somebody might say something at a party, and I go, oh, those lyrics, that idea, and my dovetailing with that, or I'm so it's very patient and intuitive. But back then I was like kind of, I don't know, forcing it a little bit. But Egg is great. Phil Franklin, drummer for Egg, phenomenal drummer. He came from a hardcore background and he could really play. The only drummer that reminds me of Phil is Joey Waronker, who was the drummer in Beck's band when I was in Beck's band. Um, they're both just like muscular groove, just
Okay, yeah.
unbelievable. So good.
Was that the guy who kind of moved with you to Boston when you moved after SUNY to like set up some artwork and you guys started like jamming on the subway, you and this guy? Or
Yeah, me and
am I,
Phil were a duo. Yeah,
okay, that's a guy. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
Uh,
And then Dale Pizer, the guy who played bass eventually in Egg, he
yeah.
and I went to high school together, and we had a
Okay.
duo called Mute
Ah,
Testimony. And Mute Testimony was like this. It was kind of like this wall of voodoo, twangy guitars, synthesizers, kind of very much wanting to be wall of voodoo. I don't know if
what?
you know wall of voodoo,
No, is
but
there a band?
that's a band. Yeah, you got
Dude,
to check out.
I'm going back and listening to this interview. You have a couple of bands you recommended to me. This is
Yeah.
awesome. I'm getting so much out of this too. That's awesome.
Cool, cool. Yeah. I mean, there was a period of time where Dale and I were just trying to be Wall of Voodoo that unashamedly just just like, yep, we're just going to imitate our hero right now. So,
I did that for like a few years from 2000 and I'd say 14 to 2019. I was trying to be Pavement in a
oh, look at you. Yeah, yeah.
in a band called Big Mint, and I was singing, playing like open chords and or like singing high falsetto. Never got the nail on the head because I wasn't being myself. I was trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
Pavement, so it's always mediocre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also an okay and totally sort of informative process to imitate your heroes because then you get your you kind of get to understand the inner workings. Like I
Right.
did as Casper Baby Pants, I did two Beatles cover albums,
Three, right?
and no, well, there's a single, there's a little 7-inch single floating
Okay.
around in the
Doesn't
world,
matter.
but
Doesn't matter. Sorry to interrupt your
it,
story, sir. Keep going. Two
that's
Beatles
okay.
album.
It was
Keep going.
I did two full-length albums, and I didn't just understand the chord progressions and the lyrics, but I kind of tried to really open up, listen to the demos, and read about the band and about what they were doing on a day-to-day basis, and just sort of get inside that bubble.
Mm,
So sometimes diving into your heroes and just flat out imitating them is that's a good way to progress. I think it's a natural stage.
okay. So I mean, you listen to Sergeant Pepper's like from 2.5 to 10 years old, and no other album, right?
Yep, no other album. Yeah. And
Did
you know
I?
what? I think I have to revise the story a little bit because I think I was 4. I've gone around saying I listened to it when it came out in '67 when I was two,
But I said
but
three. I said 3.5. No, what did I?
well,
I'll keep going. Keep going.
we lived in a house before, so we moved. The whole family moved when I was four into the house where I remember listening to Sergeant Pepper's. I don't remember listening to it in the previous house, so I think I was four when I got my hands on it. But my brother gave it to my parents Christmas of '67, and I think it just sat in their record collection until I discovered it 2 years later. So
Nice.
you're the first. Nah, this is the first time I'm telling that story where I got the dates right.
Ah, really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, it's maybe stupid now to ask you how, like, because you listen to the same album on these formative years, it must have wired your brain in certain areas. You know what I mean? It must have
Oh yeah.
left an imprint.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the experience I had as a little kid listening to that album was like a journey. Like it was transportative. Every song put me in a new environment, and the environments linked up to make like an album-wide experience. And so, yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to really to play around with songs and sequencing like that until, well, Casper Baby Pants I did a little bit for sure, but this new music I'm making now under my own name,
What do you mean? What do you
um,
mean? You didn't feel like you could play with the way the music was on Sgt. Pepper's? Were you telling me that? Sorry.
no, I'm just saying like Sergeant Pepper's created this experience for me that I traveled while I listened to it, like
Okay.
really, and it was lyrically beyond my years, right? I'm a 4-year-old listening to these very, intense lyrics and intense musical choices, like Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite was terrifying. And Within You, Without You, as a 4-year-old, I'm listening to that. I'm receiving messages about consciousness through the music that I don't even, you know, can't even grasp. So in that way, like that level of abstraction and like you know invitation for the listener to take a trip with the performer, that I didn't really get to dig into until this arc of albums I'm on now, where I really feel like, okay, this is me flexing that muscle and offering the listener kind of a journey through atmospheres and stuff like that. I mean, so yeah, it's that album is just in my DNA. It's basically every album I make, I'm trying to remake my version of Sergeant Pepper's.
Are you saying that as a joke or?
No, not at all. I mean, I really think about like as I sequence an album, and I'm not pushing the envelope as far as they did. I mean, you look at Within You, Without You um into what is the song after that? It's the one with the clarinets. I'm spacing on it.
A lovely
Will you
Rita,
when I'm 64?
164. Okay.
So like With and Without You into When I'm 64, that's or like on Revolver, I think it's Taxman into Eleanor Rigby. Like these are massive
No, is it
songs.
the night before? No, when's the night before? Is that
Night
Eleanor?
Before is on Help. That's on the Help song.
Yeah, it's on Help. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Is it Eleanor Rigby number two? I forget. Let me see. Revolver
yeah, it's
song number
Taxman Eleanor
two.
Rigby,
Okay,
as far as I remember.
you know it better than me. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. And then I'm only sleeping. Yeah, sorry. Keep going, sir. Sorry, I doubted you. I won't do it again.
That's okay. I do get things wrong from time to time. But I guess my point is they were really pushing the envelope as far as like, all right, here's Tax Man, a very aggressive aggro song
Right.
uh, about taxes. And then here's this incredibly romantic strings and vocal only like lush environment. So I guess I try to push as much as that, but I kind of want my new albums to not be a jarring experience either. I kind of want them to be like I know when I'm listening to them as I finish them up and I'm listening for fixes and mistakes and running order, I start to fall asleep, and that's good. I want my new albums to be engaging on a level where you could listen and get something out of the lyrics, or dive in and get something deep, or you could just put on headphones and fall asleep. Like so.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm kind of swimming in slightly different waters than the Beatles, but well, obviously,
No, but
I'm not.
this is spot on. I mean, do you feel that you're like writing more from your inner life now?
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of, yeah, exactly. I think I've always said like as I start a new arc, it's because I find a purpose and a palette.
Right.
And
Okay.
the purpose and palette of the new stuff is the purpose is to sort of explore those sort of inner experiences of being an alive human, consciousness, death, love, life, connection, attachment, fear, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff is kind of universal. Everybody feels it. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of making this music. I'm imagining one person having an interior experience as opposed to, like, say, the Presidents or even Casper. A lot of it was, or more, the Presidents was written for a live music situation. Like it was written to be alive in a room with a crowd. And that's why we found recording really difficult because we're like we didn't ever get a handle on our purpose as recording artists, but as performers, we totally did. And then Casper was kind of in the middle. Like I really made the Casper albums to be used in the car and at home if the family's bored. I didn't think about playing live at all. And then the live thing came along later, and it was a whole different animal because I did it solo with just one guitar. And um, so yeah, I guess all by way of saying like every time I find a purpose in a palette, the songs just explode. So I'm at the mercy of this like song volcano that blows every so often.
Okay. Like, so what do you have to do to maintain the state? What are your rules? Can I ask you about that?
To maintain the state, what do you mean the state of
The volcano eruption,
oh,
creative
you know,
explosion. What do you have to do or not do?
well, I guess for one thing, I don't want to attach to any um sort of framework of being creative. I don't want to I've learned over the years that like when I'm in the middle of an arc, like say the Casper Baby Pants arc, I feel like I'm going to do it forever, right? I remember thinking in the Casper Baby Pants arc, well, this music has nothing to do with being youthful and cool, so I could be an old man doing this stuff and it would be totally fine. So I'll do it forever. But it just creatively, the volcano kind of dried out and I let it go. I just let it go and trusted that another one would fill its come up in its place. And so I think what you need to not do is be attached. You need to be open to the signals from the ether. And if it starts to tell you, like, or if you start to get bored or repetitive with what you're doing, you know, stop. As I'm right, I do that on a micro level as every song I'm working on. Right now, I'm taking a break from revising songs that are just about done and I've collected feedback from I have four co-producers that I work with, and they've given me feedback on this massive batch of songs. So, but I'm letting them sit, and I'm just making messes. I'm making drum loops and going into old sessions and cutting them up, and when because I got kind of bored with myself. I'm like, I need a break from analyzing these songs, this giant batch. So on a micro level, as I'm working on new stuff, I'll work on it until I feel like I'm not interested, and then I just let it go. And then maybe 6, 8 months later, maybe years later, I'll rediscover that fragment that wasn't working, and it might be relevant for the next thing. So that's the other thing is I've documented just about every little moment of inspiration I've had. I've got as little fragments of audio and songs and I've got thousands and thousands of little fragments that I just sort of surf through occasionally and go, oh, that one's relevant to what I'm doing now. Let me see if I can loop it and make something new. So, yeah, it's staying in touch with your intuitive ideas that didn't connect is a nice way to keep the volcano erupting. Yeah. And I guess keep it erupting by being alert to when you're bored and move on.
Nice, man.
You're
Awesome.
taking it in.
That's fucking awesome. Okay, do you have to like go outside and exercise, eat healthy? What all other choices are you doing in your life to be able to return to this state? Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, definitely. Yep. Every day I do about a 45-minute deep breathing yoga, like exercise, stretching kind of thing before I do anything else. And that actually, during that time, I listen to either meditative music that other people have done or that I've done. I listen to people like Ram Dass. He's a sort of spiritual guru leader guy. He's passed away now, but he's just amazing. He's kind of like the stand-up comic of gurus. Um, and Alan Watts, philosopher, listen to him.
Did
And
he
I
make
listen
music?
to
Did he make music?
Alan Watts. No, he's passed away,
Ah,
but he was.
you're listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, I listen
Okay,
to
cool. Keep
them
okay,
them
okay.
talk. These
Yeah.
are philosophers that talk about existence and
Ah,
stuff.
the
I
other guy
guess
you also mentioned, he's also a philosopher. He's not a musician.
no,
I
no, Ram Dass. Yeah, he's
I
a like a guru guy.
I don't know these things. So thank you for and tell me like
Yeah,
tell me more. Tell me more.
yeah, yeah. So I'll go through phases where I'll listen to those guys, and then I kind of feel like, okay, I've heard enough. And but during that early morning time is when ideas I'm opening those radar dishes and kind of just being aware. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's like an opportunity for ideas to fall out of the sky. And I do a deep breathing meditation every afternoon for about 10 or 15 minutes. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of documentaries. I listen to a lot of other people's music, just kind of like filling up the coffers with experience and then socializing.
Sorry. Keep up. My dad is here. His pot is like overflowing. Give me 1 minute.
Okay, you got it.
Er ég lækkaði niður á 2? Þá er byrjað að sjóða upp úr. So my dad, he's cooking sheep faces for us. So you take the sheep, you kill the sheep, you cut all of the parts off, then you have the head left. You know what you do with the head? You cut it in half, you freeze it, and then you fucking boil it for like an hour, and then we eat mashed potatoes with it. And I eat,
Wow.
and okay, the best part of the sheep head is the chin part. Small part,
Yeah.
really good. Next best is the tongue. I always like the
Yeah.
tongue. Number three are the eyes. Just have to take the pupils and the black stuff out. But then it's
Wow.
mostly just fat, and I don't even
Yeah.
like the rest of it. It's just like fat of the sheep's head. But I grew up eating this and
Woo.
like fucking ram's testicles always with rice pudding and ram's testicles in like
Wow.
in like a sour milk fucking it's like a sour milk liquid that you keep it in, all the innards. It's fucked up.
That's amazing. I mean, that's like survival stuff. That stems back to that is what you have to eat because that is all there is.
Like like I'm living with my dad, staying on his couch, and we're like bonding. It's really good because like he wasn't
That's great.
around when I was a kid. He's 79. He was born in 1946. He should be a boomer, a baby boomer. He
Yeah.
didn't get electricity, Chris, until he was fucking 17.
Wow.
He lived on a farm, like a big
Yeah.
house, huge house, and then two apartments is one big house, grandma, grandpa, and my grandpa's brother on the other side. So just a huge family, and like he's like a silent generation motherfucker. Anyways, you were talking
Yeah.
about, do you remember what you were talking about when I cut you off?
Oh, I was just saying like ways to keep the volcano flowing and
Yeah,
being,
you do the meditation. Right, right. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
do meditation and yes, eat healthy for sure. You know, exercise every day. After every meal, I basically take a walk unless it's raining
How long a walk do you take usually per day?
not long, like 15, 20 minutes after each meal, I like to go for a 15, 20 minute
That's
walk.
awesome. It really sets your shit. Reset. Yeah, I've been doing like fucking 4 walks a day, and then like
Yeah.
I just started doing it, and it's like changing my life. You know what I mean?
It's one of the most productive ways to keep the volcano going. I find like if I'm working in the studio and I've got some laying down some music and I'm working on it, if I stop and go out and walk for 10 minutes, the next move or something will generally come into focus like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I'll be like, okay, instead of a lyric that's bothering me will be resolved as I walk around outside, not as I stare at the computer trying to, fix it.
Nice. Okay.
Sometimes not looking directly at a problem is a better way to solve the problem.
So anything else with like diet or or something? We covered it all maybe. Or like what kind of diet?
Yeah.
Can I ask you about your diet? Is that uncomfortable and a stupid question? Or like
No. No, no. I'm a big
I
fan of I do like a cereal and fruit in the morning, like apple, blueberry, banana, granola, like low sugar granola and sunflower seeds for like fiber. Um, and then sometimes I'll do a big eggy breakfast with Kate. Kate loves eggs, scrambled eggs for breakfast. So a couple times a week, maybe I do that. And then maybe once every couple weeks, I do pancakes. I love pancakes. And then, the food I eat is basically like a kind of a combo of like rice and vegetables and meat. Um, when it left to my own devices, that's what I want. It's just I kind of make a big batch of rice, I make a big batch of cooked vegetables, big batch of like, ground chicken or something. And then
Nice,
it's lunchtime, I just put a bowl together from those reservoirs, heat it in the microwave, and I'm golden.
nice.
So it's pretty elemental. Like I like to eat clean. I like to eat simple. I don't like lots of fancy flavors. I do love fish. Fish is a big deal. I cook trout, like whole trout in the air fryer
Ah,
and eat
trout.
that for a couple of sittings.
Okay, where did you get the trout
Tin. I
from?
love I love tin fish. I love tin sardines, tin trout, tinned mackerel. Yeah, that's my disaster food.
Oh,
Like if
trout. Oh,
we're
like
traveling.
salmon.
Yeah, salmon. Yep,
Is
salmon's
that is
good.
is that trout? Is trout the same as salmon?
No, no, that's not the same. Trout are smaller freshwater
But are they
fish.
fat? Are they fat like the salmon?
Yeah, yeah, they're kind of fatty. And
I,
some trout have pink meat like a salmon.
do you grill that
Different.
shit? How do you cook that?
I put olive oil and salt and pepper all over it and put it on a piece of parchment paper and put that in an air fryer and heat it up with air for like 20 minutes.
Okay, I gave my air fryer away. Anyways, okay.
Ah.
So the thing is, we have like 5 minutes left. You have to be off at 16, right?
Well, it kind of depends how much more do you have to cover? Do you, like, if you were able to finish this all up today, how much more time would you need?
Let's see. We're about through. Let me see. I don't know. I mean, I could do it in half an hour easily. Or like, do you want that rather to finish it now than like pivot back in January, February, March, and do another chat? What do you think?
Yeah. Maybe we should do the another session in January. Give you time to kind of compile everything you've got and see where there's holes or see where you want to, fill in blanks or have
Oh,
questions.
yeah. No, 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 no. Because
Also,
no, no, no,
one
no,
of the
no.
things I'm dealing with is some pain in my feet that's from a pinched nerve in my back, and so sitting for a long time is kind of hard. So
Oh,
maybe I should move
okay.
around and
Right,
and
right, right. So yeah. So like 1 hour is like of optimal time for you. You don't want to do it like more than that. You know what I mean? Because of your
yeah,
back,
probably. I
basically.
mean, let's go for another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll do another session
Cool.
in a
So I,
couple
I was
months.
gonna I was gonna pivot back to music. The thing is I wasn't gonna ask none of the questions I asked you are in my notes. It was just like I really wanted to talk with you about this stuff because a lot of interesting things have
Yeah.
risen from the stuff we're talking about, and like so that's awesome. It's a really good talk. Anyways, I want to pivot back to pure foresting because this is where we left off.
Okay.
Let me see. No, this is the one. Let me open up the file. It will just take
I
a
heard a
while.
I heard a comedian I heard a comedian one time who was talking about this kind of situation being like talking to somebody who's trying to figure something out for you, and the person on the other end is typing on their keyboard going pew 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 pew, like trying to figure it out, like as a sort of subliminal thing. And he was like, "What if they really got into the laser beam thing and it got really like pew pew explosions?" That's Dimitri Martin. I love Dimitri Martin.
What do you mean
You
about
got to
the
check. Oh, that's the other
what?
thing I do
What do
is
you mean?
I watch a.
What do you mean about the pow pow pow? I don't understand even. I was
Yeah,
just
don't
I
worry
was
about it. I didn't do the joke justice. I leave it to the professionals, but you should check out Dimitri Martin. He's an amazing comedian. That's another thing I do is watch a lot of stand-up comedy. I love Good stand-up
Dimitri
comedian.
Martin. I don't know him. I don't know him.
Mhm. My
I,
favorite comic are Mitch Hedberg.
Bill Hicks,
No, I'm not a Bill Hicks. I'm not I'm there's a
George
very specific kind of
George
comedian.
Carlin, and Bill Burr.
Those are yours?
Yeah, what are yours?
Mine are Mitch Hedberg, Stephen Wright, and Emo Phillips.
Mitch Hedberg, who did the one-liners and died from an overdose.
Yeah.
He's there. He's my number four. I love him. I love
Okay.
Mitch. I love
I see.
Mitch.
I love those three because
Oh,
they
sorry,
all
who were the two next? I blacked out after you said Mitch Hedberg.
Stephen Wright and Emo Phillips.
Okay, I'll check
And
him out. I'll go in.
all three of them are so unique because they create a little situation with each, little joke and then break your brain. So they're basically doing the same thing that a Buddha would do to a disciple, which is giving them an impossible koan that breaks their mind. So that to me is the greatest comedy. Observational or political comedy, like here's the difference between men and women, here's the bad food on airplanes, all that kind of stuff. It's funny, but it doesn't reach the heights for me of like the pure
Have you?
brain breaking. Like Mitch Hedberg has this great joke. He says, I want to put pins in a map to travel, to show all the places I've traveled to, but first I have to travel to the top two corners of the map so it won't fall down.
Okay, that's a good one. Also, I was trying to go to shop at Target the other day, but I missed it.
But I missed it.
Like
Yeah.
I missed the door or something.
I love
What
that.
about, and
I love the one he does. He's like, I used to do drugs. I still do drugs, but I used to too.
I know that one. That's a fucking classic. So you haven't heard the last two Bill Hicks album, Rant in E
I gave
minor and Arizona Bay. Do you know these two? Rant in E minor, Arizona Bay, 1993.
no, but I'll give him a spin. I don't know. Bill Hicks I gave it a try because everyone who loves Bill Hicks, but it didn't hook me in the way, you know, the Hedberg, the Stephen Wright, and the Emo Phillips is just like, wow, incredible.
I'll
So
I'll definitely listen to these two, Chris, but I'm gonna send you a name of two albums released right before he died. He was getting the cancer and he kind of knew he was dying. I'll send you these two albums. They were released in '93. They are mind blowing, and he's doing his own original music between the numbers with his friends. His friends were jamming music, so it's awesome. So, anyways,
cool.
okay, let's pivot
Okay.
back to pure frosting.
You're Russ.
Pure frosting was very popular in Iceland because you guys caught on here in '96. Like Peaches didn't even chart, and the first album it mildly charted, but then you released Lump, and then no, you released Kiri, released Lump, and you released Dúnbuggy, and these were all like fucking Lump went number one in Iceland, the only country in the world where Lump went number
Wow.
one. Dúnbuggy also went to number two. No other country. You know what I mean? So we were big. I mean,
Why didn't we go to Iceland back in the day? I have
be-
no
be-
idea why.
we talked about this the last time because you had a German woman or man
Ah,
yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
that's it. That's it.
Uh,
Germany.
is it like what? I don't know because like as a fan and as a critic, Pure Frosting is way better than many bands like studio albums. At the time, was it like I don't know a leftovers thing and some soundtracks and stuff? What was the idea back? Because you recorded some of it in '96 for the second album, they didn't make it, but then you did like a whole session in '97 where you did Love Delicatessen and all of these other songs, right?
Yeah.
Can you dive a little bit into what was going behind the scenes when you did Pure Frosting?
Well, it was basically we were trying to expand, like we were trying to evolve. And we evolved in this direction of acoustic guitars and Jason's drum kit getting back to being very small. And
Ah,
then we
you
did Sunshine and Love Delicatessen and I don't know, a few others. But it just didn't feel, yeah, again, we knew how to be a live band. We knew how to make that purpose come to life. The recording thing was mystifying us. And what I really wish had happened is that we had hooked up with somebody like a producer who could have kind of sort of seen the bigger picture for us and helped us evolve in a way that made sense. But after a few after a couple sessions at Egg where we made the first record using acoustic guitars, and Jason played bass on a
What do you
few
mean egg?
things.
What is you said egg?
Egg is a studio. Weirdly, yeah, my band
Ah,
was Egg in Boston, and we made the first Precedence record in a studio called Egg.
with Conrad. Was that the
With
thing?
Conrad, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Conrad,
But
yeah.
who were you working with when you recorded? You were working with this producer when you were recording the second album. What's his name again?
Oh, well, there's a debate about that. We really kind of produced that album ourselves, but
Okay.
our live sound guy, Craig Montgomery,
Oh, okay,
also
okay.
he fancied himself a producer on the album, and then we had it mixed by some hotshot. I don't remember his name actually, but
Okay,
so there were a
so
few fingers in the pie there. But bottom line is, we did a whole batch of songs, and it just didn't feel right at the time, and
did
then
you
we
did
ended
you,
up breaking.
I sorry, can you say that one again? Sorry, I interrupted you. You recorded a bunch
Oh,
of
that's okay.
songs?
We recorded a bunch of songs and it felt pretty good at the time, but then with a little bit of retrospect, we're like, nah, that's not the direction we want to go in, this acoustic style thing. So we let them sit there and then we broke up and then we looked back at what we had left over to possibly make sort of a posthumous, release like after the fact kind of thing. And we felt really good about the group of songs that we had available. So we're like, oh, let's just put them out as a record. Um, so yeah, it was, Dave, our guitar player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has historically said that I think Freaked Out and Small is his first number one favorite record we ever made, but I think Pure Frosting is right behind. He loves
That's
that
because he
record.
has one song on each album, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I think it's because, Dave was in the Dukes of Pop, that little collective
Yeah,
that I had
yeah, you
before.
did slip away back then.
Yeah. So I think that cassette that we made, talk about like the Sergeant Pepper's, Beatles sort of, different atmospheres. We had different songwriters, we had different setups for every song. So I think he likes Pure Frosting because Pure Frosting also goes through a bunch of different environments. There's the acoustic stuff, there's a live out cut or two, there's
Yeah,
studio, real full band studio stuff. So it's kind of this um, collage of different approaches. Whereas our first record and the second record are sort of like the same atmosphere for
yeah.
the entire record.
No, definitely. I mean, I remember listening to because I was 10 in 1998. I'm 10 years old. And you
Yeah.
guys were super big here in 96 and 97, like super fucking big. And like the Mach 5 single went to number 7 in Iceland, the highest charting position in the world, anyways. And I remember listening to the first three albums, and I was 10. I was a drummer when I was a kid, so I used to know how to play the drums.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like the sound at the beginning of Kitty, it sounds weird. I didn't know about your tunings. I just heard this one big instrument thing.
Yeah.
And I always thought the second album was the big album that everyone loved. And do you
Oh
know
yeah.
what a song I thought was the single? My favorite song, Bath of Fire.
Ah,
I was always like, this is the song that everyone knows. And then everyone was like, what the song is like? And I thought that this was your single and my favorite track. And I just believed that everyone thought it, but how can I not hear it? This is a single.
that's funny. You know who else is there's another person who cites that as his number one president song, and that's Eddie Vedder.
No fucking way.
True.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah. So you and Eddie have the same tastes.
It was also with Pure Frosting. I heard Japan and I was like, this is their number one fucking song. This is the
That's
single.
funny.
And then later on, I was like, "Yo, Japan," and people were like, "What the fuck, Japan?" I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "And what's that song is about?" And I was like, "I don't know." They go to Japan, and like everyone's super pumped. You know what I mean?
That's it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
You nailed it. That song, so when we were in Japan, it was so crazy, so fast, so disorienting and bizarre and like, just visually stimulating. I would be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I would go to the bathroom when I did not have to go to the bathroom and just sit in the quiet stall, like recharging. And it was in those times sitting in the stall on like napkins that I wrote that song. So I wrote the song during my emergency, like, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom, my emergency recharging sessions in Japan.
Oh my God, saying thank you for sharing that. That's a fuck of a soundbite. But it's such a
Yeah.
good song. Dun, dun, you know, when we hit Japan, when we hit Japan. So, but then you have like the next one. It's like when we hit Japan, when we hit Japan, you know, hit Japan, when we hit
Yeah, this
Japan,
chorus.
when and then yeah, hiya, and then do do
Dun,
do
dun,
do do
dun,
do
dun,
do
dun.
do
Yeah,
do
yeah.
do 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 do. It has everything. It's not just a
I know.
throwaway song. It's an awesome. Is that a two? Is that a two bass, three string guitar song, right? With the drum set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you telling me that Jason expanded his drum set because on the second album he has a ride and
Yeah.
maybe one tom tom, small tom tom? Is that right?
Well, I don't think he ever skimped on toms, but it was getting rid of cymbals and giving him a wood block
Wood,
and what
yeah,
was it?
wood block and
Wood
a cow
block and a
black.
cowbell.
Yeah, no, this is the first album. On the second album, he has a ride cymbal.
Yeah, he does. And over the course of time, everything slipped back in, and he became just like a regular drummer, you know. But
No,
also, we were playing bigger and bigger venues, and so all of our gear got more
I
solid
mean,
and professional.
okay, was the first President album, was that written for the rock crowd? Or wasn't this just like you falling in love with Seattle again? You know, the first album.
Yeah, it was, but there were songs on there that were from different eras. Like Naked and Famous was from when I lived in, when I went to visit Los Angeles in '87. Um, you know, there were songs on there that were it was kind of like a greatest hits of my entire career till then, and some fresh ones. Like Lump was fresh, Peaches was fresh. Um,
Body was fresh, right?
Body was fresh, yeah. That was about a girl I was dating in Boston before I came out to Seattle. Yeah.
My favorite, one of my favorites. When you go into the
Well, but it was about a girl, but it was also a true story about my sister's kid who had a salamander, or no, a frog, the frog that hopped onto the entertainment center. That's actually all true. That's my sister's kid.
That's awesome.
So,
So
yeah.
that wasn't written for the rock crowd. Maybe the second album was more written for the
Oh,
rock crowd.
rock crowd. I mean, yeah, we were excited to stand up in front of a crowd that was expecting more grunge and give them us. I mean,
Uh,
we weren't devoid of the grunge puzzle pieces or elements. You know, we had this pedal right here, the Big
yeah,
Muff.
the Big Muff. You used that a lot on the first album.
Oh yeah, Dave had this out,
Do you,
this
do you
and a
remember?
tube.
Do you remember the dial tones roughly? The dial tones on it. Can you show it to us?
Oh well, right now this is kind of my favorite. It's kind of like a
This
mid-level on the amp, kind of low on the tone, and then
okay.
just barely, not super saturated, just kind of barely in
This
there.
this is what you're doing on the first album. No, this is what you're doing
I
right
don't know
now.
because I
You
know
this
this is right now.
this is
This is
right
right
now. You
now.
don't remember the. I never mind. Never mind. Of
Well,
course you
see,
don't remember.
I had no pedals in the Presidents. I didn't want to have pedals because I didn't want to drag pedals around the stage.
Oh,
Dave was in charge of all that texture. He had a phase shifter, a like a small stone phase shifter. He had a Ibanez tube screamer and a big muff. And the idea was save the big muff for only like two places in the set. You know, like let's save it for when things really need to explode. So yeah, it was like a secret weapon that we had, basically.
dude, and like the thing is, I used to be a drummer from like fucking 8 to 14, and I've been listening to Jason's drumming. On the first album, it's completely superb.
Yeah.
It's superb. On the next album, okay, he gets a right cymbal, you know. He doesn't go. He uses everything to such a perfection, Chris, that he has become one of my all-time favorite drummers recently. He
Oh
just,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's amazing. Oh, absolutely. You know, at one point Jason broke his ankle and this was in like 2003 or four. And we had to get a different drummer. We got Mike Musburger, who was in the Posies and the Fastbacks,
Uh,
and he's a great drummer, but he's way more binary, like just And Jason's got this like fra fra, this little feel on the snare. And Jason listens to the vocals more than the bass because we didn't really have a bass. I'm playing what's supposed to be the bass like a guitar, so we're not really concerned with locking the kick drum in with the bass like you would. Um, we're more he listened to the song and would kind of tailor the drums to what the music and the melody were doing. And I love that. And boy, when he broke his ankle, we really missed him. And it was a big eye opener as far as all the finesse that he brought to the kit.
you told me this last time, and I've been trying to listen to it. Like, how does he play along with the vocals? Can you give me a track where it's very obvious that I could maybe try to lock in this idea?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that was my feeling as a vocalist singing the song is that Jason had my back, that I wasn't fighting the drums.
Wow.
Maybe a lot of it is, like one of the reasons we took away the cymbals in the first place and took off strings off the guitars is we wanted to make a sonic space where the lyrics and the melody were as available as everything else. Because a lot of music you can't understand a word they're saying and you're missing a whole realm of creativity when you can't hear anything. So I think when I say that, the most important thing was he would get out of the way. He would get small and make space for the vocals. And if there was something where I'd say like, yeah, I can't think of an example right now, but some, sound effecty like knock on the door, I can't think of a specific thing, but if there was like a cue of something to like go ding, ding, ding or something. Oh, I know in Love Delicatessen, I think I said something like about my order being up and
I
he'd
was,
hit a bell. Like,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
but that's kind of more of a, shtick. It was really
No,
about him like getting out of the way and then filling the gaps when, you know, getting louder and fancier when there wasn't lyrics to obscure. Yeah.
he's just doing less is more to a perfection. Okay,
Yes,
let's
exactly.
I'm gonna have a few more pure frosting questions, then we should wrap it up for now. Does that sound like a good plan? Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit more about Jason. He's just like also he's just been like I was listening to Monkey River and he's always just doing just one kick. Then at the end he starts and also on the second album he just does it so fucking seamlessly. He like he serves the music like a drummer I've heard he's better than Charlie Watts at like fucking servicing the music.
Yeah.
This is my quote.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, he would love to hear that because he was really hard on himself.
No
Uh,
way.
oh yeah, he would sit there and listen to the drums soloed up and just be like, "Ooh, is that right? Is that right?"
Wow,
When
I'll
it got
have to
to the
get him
point,
on.
when
Sorry,
it got
sorry,
to the
sorry, sorry.
point, when it got to the point where we were recording digitally, um, that would be the first step. We'd do a pass in the studio and we'd like the take, and then Jason and Martin, the engineer, would sit there and listen for each individual hit and like move things a little bit. We kind of thought it was like, come on, Jason, you have the feel. Why are you like nitpicking? But he would get psyched out. He would get scared, I guess, of not being perfect. Um, and it really kind of was something he battled against a lot
Wow. He
during
didn't
recording. Yeah.
realize how talented he was.
Mm-mm. Yeah, he
Did
didn't.
did you never sit him down and like give him just a little bit of acid,
Oh
a little bit of
yeah. I mean, we
ketamine, a
would
little
say
bit of LSD, and a little bit of alcohol, and
we
say,
would say
dude,
stuff like,
listening.
yeah, we would say stuff like we really have to like not zero in on any one part, like the bass, the guitar. Just listen to the whole thing. Like how is the whole
He's
thing?
perfect. You
Yeah.
guys were so lucky, and you told me the story and I saw it when you played Volcano with
With who?
Max Winberg on
Oh, Max Weinberg. Yeah, yeah,
Max,
yeah.
yeah, when you played Volcano.
Yeah, he played
Painfully
through.
obvious, because he's one of the best drummers of all time. He's done such magic for Bruce, but he didn't fit with you.
Yeah, I have a song, a new song that I think is going on the next record called "Playing Through the Breaks," and it's about that. But I've abstracted it and made it kind of about, I don't know, like not giving yourself enough downtime. I've kind of used a little poetry to move it in a different direction, but I was telling somebody about him playing through the breaks, and I thought, oh, play through the breaks. That's a cool phrase. So I
Nice.
turned it into a song.
That's January 16th that you're gonna release it.
Yeah, I think it's the 16th. Let me see here. Blah, blah, blah. Calendar. Oh, look at me. I'm doing the pew, pew,
Blah blah
pew.
blah, a calendar. I'm looking for a
Uh,
calendar.
January 16th. Yes, you are
Nice.
correct.
Okay. Okay. I remember buying the Mach 5 Maxi single when it came out. I bought
Oh,
it
yeah.
as a kid. Yeah, and it had these two awesome tracks. No, it had a live version of Caroline's Booty, and I had never heard that song. I
Oh, my
think I
God.
think I think Jason played guitar and Dave played drums on that version.
Yes, they switch. Yep.
That's and then it had Tremolo Blues, which is one of your most psychedelic fucking up of the blues, you know?
Tremolo blues. Ain't got nothing to lose. Ain't
Yeah,
got but these trembling. Something. Don't tumble in, mumble in blues.
yeah. And everyone's getting someone's locked in a fridge. Monkey been missing you. Froggy collapsed on stage,
Yeah.
backstage, face down in the pile of cocaine. The rocker
Yeah, yeah.
doctor said he had the flu, but Froggy felt the deep inside him, knew exactly what to do. Go to Tremolo Blues, okay. But then you had Tiki Lounge God. I had heard Tiki God on the second album, but the Tiki Lounge God, it drives in how fucking sinister that fucking lyric is. Is that
Yeah.
yes or no? You're not your most fucking scary lyrics that you've written for the president? Or do you have
Yeah,
another song that
probably.
matches it?
That's probably true. I never thought of it is kind of a scary song. That's there was a band called the Flesh Tones, and they were around in the 80s, but they were sort of harkening back to like party rock bands of the 60s, big bands with horns and Louie Louie kind of party rock.
Okay.
And I loved them. And they had an album called Hexbreaker. And so
Hexbreaker.
Tiki, and it was a big long song with like a big tom tom break. They were actually the first when I went to college in art school in New York in 1983. They were the first band I ever went down to Manhattan from. I went to school in the kind of the woods, like north of the city. They were the first band that I actually traveled into the city to see late at night in New York City all by myself, and they were fantastic.
Nice.
So Tiki God was just me ripping off Hexbreaker, basically. It was
What did
like,
they say in their song that reminded you of a Tiki God?
well, it's because it's like this sinister kind of groove about, being under the spell of this idol, and I was like, oh my God, I love that vibe. I want a song like that. So I just ripped off my hero. Pretty much all the songs, a lot of the songs in the Presidents are like, Lump is me trying to be the Buzzcocks. Mach 5 is me trying to be Kiss. Um, you know, there's just like almost every song has a influence that I'm just sort of blatantly ripping off in my mind.
I
But
mean,
because they're played through the two-string and three-string instruments, it sounds fresh.
yes. And Spider John Kerner, he has a lot of these first albums, all the
Yeah.
chickens and the bee, all the chickens and
Yep, yep,
the
yep. Yep, totally. Yeah, he's
uh okay, Tiki God this has like a mythic folklore energy to it, you know,
yeah.
that you have never explored. Like, I think, have you ever explored this like this visually? Because in the first verse, I had a girl and she did me wrong. I couldn't let that shit go on too long. So,
Yeah.
I saw that I saw the tiki card, how evil this girl could be. She didn't call no more nor bother me. My little tiki god makes sure it lived in peace. But one day they found a body in the river. Tiki god, whoa, it made me shake, it made me
It
shiver.
made me
Like he's
shiver. Yeah.
completely like he killed his
Yeah.
fucking girlfriend and he's
He
blaming it on his
did.
tiki god. That's
Oh
so
my
fucking
God.
and you don't hear it when you do the fucking rock version. You can hear it. Then you listen to the single, the Take a Launch God, and you're like, Holy
Yeah.
fuck, this is, if I was tripping on mushrooms, I'd go into a bad trip right now. You know what I mean?
Yes. That is amazing. You really like revolutionized that song for me now.
Ah,
And
nice.
you know what? I think that's part of the reason we did that Tiki Lounge God because I'm not sure what we were thinking doing that. I think it was Dave's suggestion because Dave really always wanted to kind of like let's lay back, let's get in the groove, like. And I think he wanted to try that. And I think historically, if when asked, he would always prefer that Lounge God version because it sort of highlighted that sinister
On
thing.
albums or on live sets?
Albums. Yeah, we
Wow.
never, I don't think, we might have done it, if we did an acoustic radio show kind of thing, we might have done that live. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, can't really
Okay.
remember, but yeah,
That's
that's great
awesome.
though. I love that. And then the second verse, of course, is all about the Brady Bunch, the
Yeah.
television show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I love the end. Turns out the God was mean and vision. Didn't spend the Brody's 3 wishes. No, no. And now they're like, it's a party. We're gonna fuck you up, and it's a party. That's a good
We're
one
gonna-
also.
That's good, man. I love it. I love it.
Oh, one more thing, because
Yeah.
I love that the at the end of the original Tiki God that came out on President of the United States of America 2 in 96. At the
Yeah.
end of Tiki God, you say, Plastic Soul Man.
Yeah. Yeah. You know why, right?
No, I don't know. Tell me.
That's Paul McCartney. Where is that? Oh, he says, I think, God, I can't remember the source now. If it must be on a sort of the ending of some Beatles song where he says Plastic Soul. And it's where the title for the album Rubber Soul came from. It was just him saying something. And I don't remember what, you know what? Let's ask. I'm going to
I'm
ask.
doing it.
I'm going to
He
ask
did it
the.
in Plastic Soul Man at the end of an early takeoff. I'm down in 1965, is what ChatGPT says.
Okay. I don't know how I got a hold of that back in the era where we were doing the presidents because, demos and stuff like that by the Beatles weren't really out at that time. So
Right.
I don't know how I heard that, but I heard that and
Nice.
I loved, just me kind of nodding to Paul. That's all.
Again, like with your hotel name, But it says he was joking that as a white British band playing soul influenced music, it was plastic soul, not the real thing. But you
Yeah.
said it as a fucking joke, and even if I didn't know the origin, and I never heard it as a kid, but I was going back to your stuff, and I heard that you said "plastic soul, man" at the end of Tiki God. Dude, that's funny as fucking shit. Let me tell you that, brother.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. And then of course Lennon goes on after the Beatles to do the Plastic Ono
Oh no,
band. So
band.
there's
Wow,
a
there's
little
another thing I haven't thought about.
something about plastic going on.
All right, Chris. Hey, dude, thank you so much for taking your time. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
this is fun. It's a
Yeah,
very I like your casual, choppy, enthusiastic interview style. It's good.
yeah. I only listen to people like, dude. I've been listening to you since I was fucking 10, and you wanna hear a great story. I didn't have a microphone stand because mine is like in a storage in Reykjavik. So I got this microphone stand from this guy named Óttar.
Yeah.
He's born in 1985. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a great cousin of my friend. And I met him downstairs like an hour before the interview. And I was like, thank you, dude. Do you know I'm interviewing? He was like, who? I said, Chris Ballew from the Presidents of the United States of America. Do you know them? He said, yeah, this is my favorite band. Their first album is my favorite album of all time. I've never listened more to any single record than this one. And I was like, dude, I'll fucking tell him. His name is
Nice. And what
Óttar Brands. So shout out.
Oktar Brans?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Okay, hey Oktar Brans, I appreciate you listening to my album so many times. You've probably listened to it more than I have. So thank you very much. And thanks for the mic stand. Otherwise, this whole thing would have taken place on the ground.
I love you, dude. Okay, thank you so much. And let's talk like in February, March ish. Is that fine, or what time
Okay.
would be good for you? How do you
Uh,
feel?
Anytime I'm very free during that time. So why don't you just reach out to me when you're ready to
Okay.
roll?
It would be a similar length than this, and then we're good, you know. Okay, awesome.
Okay. All
Thank you,
right.
sir. All the best. Talk to you
Sounds
later.
good, Albert.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
You too, man.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.